Traditional Japanese houses, known as kominka, have stolen the spotlight for their captivating charm and historical significance. You might be thinking, I'd love to own one of these. Maybe I can just buy a spacious kominka on the cheap. Figure out if I wanted to use it as a long-term rental or short-term rental investment. So you buy one of these for $20,000, but the property needs serious work, and you end up putting in $100,000 for renovation, totaling $120,000 all in. The property looks good, and you decide to rent it out to a long-term tenant, and you ask a property management company to find a renter. 6 months go by, a year goes by. You keep paying for property taxes, insurance, and management fees with no rental income. And you can't take this anymore. So you try to sell it at $120,000, but you can't seem to find any potential buyer. You reduce the price to $100,000, and still there's no one to buy the property. You bought yourself a money pit, and you can't seem to get out of this. How could this happen? Well, you bought into the hype and clickbait headlines talking about free or cheap traditional Japanese houses. The problem is, most of these houses are cheap for a reason. And what is that? They are not in a desirable location. That means they're probably not suitable as rental properties. So no matter how cheap it might be, if you can't find someone to rent it from you, it's not going to be a good financial investment. So in this video, we're going to discuss why buying a kominka might be a bad idea as an investment, no matter how cheap it may seem. After that, I'm here to pull back the curtain on the hidden treasure that smart investors are tapping into. So buckle up as we explore why investing in a traditional Japanese house might not be your best move and unveil an alternative that may change your investment game. If you're new here, my name is Shu. In this channel, I talk about real estate investing, financial freedom, and Japan. If you enjoy the content of my channel, do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. It really helps the channel grow, and I'd really appreciate your support. Before I begin, I have something for you. If you want to learn how to buy a cheap property in Japan as a foreigner, I put together a free guide that will help you own your dream house to get started with real estate investing in Japan. Click the link below in the description. Now, let's get started. Imagine owning a piece of history, a kominka, an old Japanese house filled with stories, beauty, and time's touch. These houses are like time machines, connecting us to the past. But they're not just bought with money. They need care and time. Fixing them is like solving a puzzle. They're not just buildings. They're history's keepers. Having a kominka is being part of a story that started long ago and will continue. In a way, it's a promise to preserve history. Kominka ownership, a mystery with history, time, and love combined. And that is exactly why kominka attracts a lot of foreigners like you. If you can get it on the cheap, why wouldn't you want a beautiful traditional Japanese house, right? Well, not so fast. But shoot, there have been so many foreigners who bought and fixed up these old Japanese houses. They're all over YouTube. Yes, and guess what? It's not always easy. And they might have a completely different intention for buying it. Imagine you want to give your classic car a new look, but it costs a ton of money to find the right paint and someone who knows how to do it super well. That's kind of what happens with old houses too. These special houses need special things to look and feel like they did a long time ago. But these things, like the special wood and the super skilled workers, can be hard to find and cost a bunch. So what might seem like a fun idea can sometimes become a big problem. Imagine if you keep putting your hard-earned money into fixing something you love, but it still doesn't work the way you want it to. And what if, even after you spend all that money and time, the house doesn't turn out as amazing as you hope? That would be a bummer, right? So before you jump into fixing up an old house, you need to be really sure it's the best choice. Maybe there are smarter ways to use the same amount of money into something else that's going to give you what you want. Imagine having a charming old Japanese house out in the peaceful countryside. Sounds nice, doesn't it? But let's talk about a real issue. Picking where to have your house can be tricky. The problem is, if your house is too far from where people usually live and work, it's going to be hard to find renters. Most people like to live close to everything they need, like schools, stores, and jobs. That's not always the case with traditional houses in far-off places. Well, think about this. You might end up with your house sitting empty because not many people want to live far away from all the action. It's like having a cool hangout spot, but it's too far from your friends to visit. So before you decide on the spot, you've got to weigh the pros and cons. Do you want your house to stay true to its history, even if it means it might not be as popular with renters? It might be a tough choice to make. If you want to make money in real estate, what you like doesn't necessarily matter. What matters the most is that what your target customer, aka potential renters in the area, want. So while a rural kominka might be wonderfully peaceful, you have to think about whether it'll work well as an investment if that's what you want. Now, let me introduce you to the game changer. This is a secret successful Japanese real estate investors don't want you to know. Instead of buying kominka, you want to buy the slightly older ones that are just outside of busy Japanese cities. These houses are like hidden treasures that not many people are paying attention to. They're special because they're not super old-fashioned, but they're not brand new either. They're right in the middle, and that's what makes them good investments. I've mentioned in my past videos, but there is something fundamentally different about Japanese homeowners. Most Japanese people want to own brand new homes. And they do, which means secondhand homes aren't considered as valuable as new ones. That means you can get a decent house that's 30 to 50 years old at a very reasonable price. And if the previous owner has done some rehab work to it, that's even better. And that's the kind of property you want to go after. But shoot, you just said Japanese people like to live in new homes. 30 to 50-year-old houses are not new, even if they've been renovated. Well, I said Japanese people like to own brand new homes. Renters don't really care as long as where they're living is in good condition and affordable. As an investment property, that's what you want. So the secret to success in Japanese real estate investing is to focus on these slightly older ones that are packed with potential. They're a smart choice because they give you the best of both worlds. So if you're thinking about investing in a house, remember to keep your eyes open for these hidden gems that are waiting to be discovered just outside the bustling city streets. So let's take a look at a couple of case studies to show you how the numbers pencil out. Property 1. This is a single-family home built in 1972 in Isogo Ward in Yokohama. The purchase price was 6.9 million yen or $47,000, and it was purchased in 2021. You pay all of these fees and taxes that are associated with the closing. The funds required at the closing was about 7.3 million yen or about $50,000. Renovation cost was 950,000 yen or $6,500. So the total initial cost including the renovation was 8.3 million yen or $57,000. These are the before and after photos of the renovation. And this property brings in 85,500 yen per month in rental income, which is about 1 million yen for the whole year. Now, let's take a look at the P&L. Year 1 was in red due to the renovation costs and other expenses associated with the purchase of the property. But year 2 had a cash flow of 577,000 yen for the year. And this is what the projection for the next few years looks like. Depreciation of the structure is taken into account until year 4 because this is a wooden structural property that's older than 22 years old. So the depreciation span is 4 years. The gross yield is 15.7% and the net yield is about 12%. I'm telling you, it's possible to find something like this within 30 minutes from the center of Yokohama, one of the most desirable cities in Japan. Okay, so property number 2. This is a single-family home built in 1982 in Fujimino, Saitama. The purchase price was 4.5 million yen or $31,000, and it was purchased in 2020. You pay all these fees and taxes that are associated with the closing. The funds required at the closing was about 4.7 million yen or about $32,000. Renovation cost was 1.3 million yen or $8,900. So the total initial cost, including the renovation, was about 6 million yen or $41,000. These are the before and after photos of the renovation. And this property now brings in 56,260 yen per month in rental income, which is about 675,000 yen for the whole year. Now let's take a look at the P&L. Again, year 1 was in red due to the renovation costs and other expenses associated with the purchase of the property. But year 2 had a cash flow of 424,000 yen for the year. And this is what the projection for the next few years looks like. Depreciation of the structure again is taken into account until year 4 because this is a wooden structural property that's older than 22 years, so the depreciation span is 4 years. Gross yield is 15.5% and the net yield is about 11%. Traditional Japanese houses may be stealing the spotlight, but it's time to debunk the myth and look beyond the surface. The road to success in the Japanese real estate market is paved with smarter choices. Slightly older houses outside of major cities offer a unique investment opportunity that balances convenience and affordability. Don't let the allure of kominka blind you to the financial reality. Your journey to real estate prosperity begins by staring steering clear of traditional houses and embracing the future of investment. It's time to embark on a path that's both lucrative and sustainable. Are you ready to make that smarter choice? There you have it. What areas in Japan are you thinking about buying a property? Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, share this video with someone who might benefit from this. And don't forget to download the free guide, How to Buy an Akiya in Japan as a Foreigner, and watch this video next for more. See you in the next one.